Fantasy chronicles in animation refers to the storytelling method wherein fantastical worlds, characters, and narratives are brought to life through animated mediums. This genre leverages the boundlessness of animation to explore complex themes, intricate lore, and otherworldly scenarios that conventional live action might struggle to portray convincingly. Animation, with its ability to transcend the limitations of physical reality, offers a fertile ground for imagination, enabling creators to build elaborate universes that captivate audiences of all ages. This concept is central to the broader topic of fantasy chronicles in animation, as it embodies the genre's unique strength, the ability to weave rich, immersive stories that engage the viewer's imagination. The significance is illustrated by its impact on culture and the arts, as well as its ability to challenge and inspire both creators and audiences to think beyond the ordinary. Two notable examples demonstrate the prowess of fantasy chronicles in animation. Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away is a masterclass in fantasy animation, taking viewers on a breathtaking journey through a magical world filled with spirits, gods, and fantastical beasts. The film not only showcases stunning animation, but also delivers profound messages about identity, courage, and love. Another example is Avatar: The Last Airbender, an animated series that combines rich world-building with compelling storytelling. The series explores themes of balance, destiny, and cultural diversity, all wrapped in a tale of epic fantasy that appeals to both children and adults. The appeal of fantasy chronicles is widely acclaimed, with many praising their ability to transport viewers to realms beyond their imagination. Proponents argue that these animated narratives offer escapism while simultaneously reflecting on real-world issues, rendering them both entertaining and thought-provoking. However, challenges persist within this genre. Critics sometimes argue that the fantastical elements can overshadow character development or lead to convoluted plots. Others might point out that the heavy reliance on animation can marginalize narrative authenticity in favor of visual spectacle. Additionally, cultural representation in these stories can be contentious, with debates surrounding appropriation and authenticity. This point connects to other aspects of the main topic by highlighting the way fantasy chronicles in animation serve as a cornerstone for innovation and creative exploration. Their influence extends beyond storytelling, impacting cultural understanding and technological advancement in animation techniques. Ultimately, fantasy chronicles in animation do not just tell stories. They expand the boundaries of what storytelling can achieve, continuously inspiring new generations of animators and writers. Defining fantasy in animation involves understanding the ways in which animation creates worlds that diverge from reality, blending imagination with visual storytelling. Fantasy in animation is characterized by its ability to bring the impossible to life, utilizing mythical creatures, magical elements, and expansive worlds that exist beyond the constraints of the physical universe. This genre is significant because it allows creators to explore themes of adventure, heroism, morality, and the human experience in a way that resonates with both children and adults. By transcending reality, fantasy in animation becomes a powerful tool for storytelling, enabling viewers to escape into worlds where anything is possible and where they can confront their own dreams, fears, and values through engaging narratives. Two notable examples of fantasy in animation include Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away and Disney's Frozen. Spirited Away enchants audiences with its rich, imaginative universe and deeply symbolic storyline, blending Japanese folklore with a unique coming-of-age narrative. Similarly, Frozen draws on classic fairy tales, introducing elements like ice magic and talking snowmen to craft a compelling story about sisterhood and self-discovery. Both films demonstrate how fantasy in animation can act as a mirror to real-world issues, offering fresh perspectives on familiar themes. Opinions supporting the significance of fantasy in animation often highlight the genre's ability to nurture creativity and critical thinking. Critics and fans alike argue that fantasy encourages audiences to question reality and explore alternative possibilities, ultimately expanding their understanding and imagination. However, there are challenges and controversies associated with this concept, such as cultural appropriation, when fantasy elements draw from specific traditions without proper representation or respect. Additionally, some argue that the escapism inherent in fantasy can lead to a disconnection from real-world issues. Despite these potential challenges, fantasy in animation remains a crucial component of the genre's appeal, influencing other aspects such as character development, world building, and thematic exploration. It allows animated works to delve deep into moral and philosophical questions, creating narratives that are both entertaining and thought-provoking. By defining fantasy in animation, creators can craft stories that not only captivate audiences, but also inspire them to see and think about the world in new and meaningful ways. The interplay between fantasy and reality in animation serves as a foundation for storytelling that continues to evolve and captivate generations. The historical development and evolution of fantasy chronicles in animation is a fascinating journey that reveals how this genre has grown and transformed over time. At its core, this concept refers to the chronological progression and maturation of fantasy narratives within the medium of animation. This includes how storytelling techniques, artistic styles, and technological advancements have shaped the portrayal of fantastical worlds and characters in animated formats. Understanding this evolution is crucial to comprehending the genre's current landscape and its impact on both creators and audiences. Fantasy chronicles in animation have played a significant role in expanding the creative boundaries of storytelling. They offer unique opportunities to explore themes of magic, folklore, and mythical creatures, providing viewers with immersive experiences beyond what is typically possible in live action. The development of these chronicles has been marked by key innovations and landmark productions that have pushed the genre forward. For instance, Disney's Fantasia, 1940, was revolutionary in blending classical music with animated sequences, creating a dreamlike tapestry that captivated audiences. Later, Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away, 2001, showcased how deeply resonant and emotionally complex fantasy narratives could be, earning critical acclaim and a dedicated global following. Popular opinion often supports the idea that fantasy chronicles in animation serve as a valuable escape and inspire creativity and imagination in audiences of all ages. Critics and fans alike argue that these stories offer more than mere escapism. They can challenge social norms and provoke thought about real-world issues while still set in fantastical contexts. This blend of entertainment and introspection has become a hallmark of the genre. However, the evolution of fantasy animation is not without challenges and controversies. Some critics argue that the genre can perpetuate clichés and stereotypes, particularly when it relies on traditional Western fantasy tropes. There's also a debate around cultural appropriation and representation, with the risks of homogenizing diverse cultural myths and stories to fit mainstream expectations. Furthermore, the advancing technology that drives animation forward, while beneficial, can lead to a focus on visual spectacle over storytelling quality. This historical development influences other aspects of animation by setting benchmarks for artistry and narrative depth, inspiring creators across genres to innovate and explore new storytelling methods. By understanding the evolution of fantasy animation, we gain insight into its profound impact on audiences and its enduring appeal across cultures and generations. This understanding is pivotal not only for enthusiasts of the genre, but also for anyone interested in the broader scope of animated storytelling. Critical elements of fantasy narratives are fundamental components that define and shape the genre, particularly in the realm of animation. These elements include imaginative settings, magical elements, complex characters, and an overarching theme of good versus evil, all of which create a tapestry of storytelling that captivates audiences and transcends the ordinary. In animation, these elements are brought to life with vivid visuals and imaginative designs, making the genre both immersive and enchanting. The significance of these elements in Fantasy Chronicles is profound. They not only establish the world building that is central to the fantasy genre, but also engage viewers by inviting them into a universe where the impossible becomes possible. This is crucial for animated fantasy, where visual storytelling can explore realms beyond the limitations of live action. By integrating these elements, animations can evoke emotions, challenge perceptions, and inspire dreams, making them timeless and impactful. Two notable examples highlight the importance of these elements in fantasy animation. Studio Ghibli's Spirited Away exemplifies this with its mesmerizing setting in a magical bathhouse, inhabited by spirits and fantastical creatures, while maintaining complex character development and a powerful narrative about identity and courage. Similarly, Avatar: The Last Airbender combines elements of magic, represented by bending powers, with a richly imagined world and deep character arcs, exploring profound themes like balance and destiny. These works demonstrate how integrating critical elements of fantasy can lead to universally acclaimed narratives. Opinions supporting the use of these elements suggest that they allow for deeper storytelling and a broader exploration of philosophical and moral questions. Fantasy narratives in animation can push boundaries and engage audiences in meaningful ways, offering not just escapism, but also reflection on the human experience. However, there can be challenges and controversies. Critics may argue that over-reliance on fantasy elements can lead to formulaic storytelling or detract from realism and relatability. Some may view certain tropes, such as the classic good versus evil dichotomy, as oversimplified and lacking nuance. Nevertheless, these critiques offer an opportunity for creators to innovate and redefine genre conventions. Overall, the critical elements of fantasy narratives in animation are intrinsically linked to other aspects of the genre, such as thematic depth and character development. They influence how stories are told and perceived, ensuring the continual evolution of fantasy chronicles as a vital and dynamic form of storytelling. In doing so, they not only captivate audiences, but also challenge creators to push the boundaries of imagination and narrative complexity.